Executable Podcast. It's a wonderful Monday afternoon on, June? What would that date be?
It's
20th. Let me look into the future. It's going to be June 20th, Monday afternoon.
That's right.
This is the Executable Podcast with me, your host, Phil. And I'm joined by my regular co-host, Jake.
That's right. That's me. Hello.
That's you. Hello. We wanted to do this podcast for a myriad of reasons. It was my idea.
Yeah.
And I always figured that we would always have a podcast. We always wanted to cover games, movies. I figured, someone said, no one likes a podcast with just two dudes talking. And I said, screw that.
Yeah, that's exactly what people like.
Let's make that a podcast. 'Cause that's what I want to hear.
Yeah, I think I was the one who said nobody likes a podcast with two dudes talking.
Yeah, and look at what I convinced you to do.
Yeah.
So we'll just go right into it. We'll always start with what we've been doing over the past couple of weeks. Jake, what have you been up to? What have you been playing?
What have I been playing? I've been playing a lot of Overwatch mostly. A bit of Doom.
Oh yeah, of course.
I tried the Resident Evil demo.
How'd you like that? How'd you like the new Resident Evil?
It's pretty scary. Wait, can we swear? How's this?
You can swear.
It's pretty fucking scary.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, I don't know. It's I don't want to play it alone, really.
Really? Is it that bad?
Maybe it's because I played it really early in the morning, but it was pretty creepy.
Did you play the Silent Hills demo that got really?
I watched a playthrough of that, the PT.
Did you think that was scary? Like, is it that kind of scary, or?
Sorta, yeah. Because so far nothing has happened to me in the game. Like, I'm just exploring this haunted house. Okay.
So nothing has happened, but it's scary.
Yeah, just the atmosphere is really, really fucking...
Oh, okay.
It's really good.
Okay.
I'll try to... Okay.
Is it third person or first person?
It's first person.
First person? Okay.
Yeah.
That's not normal for that game series, right?
I don't think so. I don't remember the last time I played a Resident Evil game, but I'm pretty sure they're normally third person. And I think probably this is a demo. I think it's not actually part of the game. It's just sort of like what they can do. They wanted to like showcase the technology of like what they're able to create for this game. I think.
Is this the one that's also in VR?
Yeah, and so I think that's definitely part of why it's in first person is because they want to put it out on the PlayStation VR.
And, I wonder how they're doing the movement and stuff. The VR.
As far as I know, just your controller.
That's weird because a lot of other developers are like, they always go, oh, it'll make you sick if you have them able to control where they're going like that. So it's weird. It'll be weird to see how that comes out.
I'm interested to try VR. Like I still haven't, and I hope it wouldn't make me sick because that would suck. But yeah, I have no idea really. I
hear it's just a big thing with you're moving, but your brain, you're not really moving, but in the game you're moving.
Yeah, and because it's so realistic with the headset on, it feels like
your brain gets confused.
Yeah.
But it'll be weird to see like that Resident Evil they're just kind of just doing it. So it'd be interesting to see how that turns out.
I know with the Resident Evil one, you're going to be able to play it on VR, but you can also play it normally. So it'll be interesting.
Okay. Is that game like an RPG, like a shooter? What's the gameplay loop of that like?
So far from the demo, it's more of an adventure game. Like you're looking for like keys and items and stuff, which is weird for Resident Evil. It's like a horror game, sort of like Amnesia, where you find a locked door and you have to there's a chain on it and you have to go look and find bolt cutters somewhere, stuff like that.
So you said you haven't really done anything. Is it like have you not seen any zombies or whatever?
Right. So in the game so far, you wake up in this haunted rundown house, or maybe not haunted, but whatever, really scary atmospherically. And there's a TV with static, and you can play VHS in there, but you have to find it. And so as you walk around, you just find weird shit, like notes or a mannequin's finger. I found, and then I found a room full of rotten dead cows with bolt cutters.
That's new modern decoration.
Yeah, that's where I got the bolt cutters. Like, that's always, when I'm looking for bolt cutters, a lot of times I'll say, where's the room with the dead cows? Because that's where they keep those.
Dead cows, bolt cutters. That's
yeah.
Two things are always together.
Yeah.
You can't have them apart.
Yeah. Like potatoes and chapstick. It's just...
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly like that. 100%. 100%.
And so, yeah, I found bolt cutters in there, and I was able to, like, open a cabinet and get the VHS. And then the weird thing was, so you play the VHS tape in the TV, and it, like, comes up with a video, but you're not watching it on the TV. Like, it becomes your whole screen. And then you, like...
Interesting.
Yeah, and so there's, like, a... sort of like a VHS filter over everything. And then you just play...
Oh, it does, like, those scan lines?
Yeah, but then you just play the VHS. Like, you're a character in the VHS. Like, it just puts sort of a filter on it, and then
weird.
That's the game you're playing. It was like,
That's the whole... Wait, is that the rest of the game?
No, that was a part of it. So, like...
okay.
Once that happened, I was, like, a cameraman or whatever for, like, two guys who were going to check out this haunted house. And so, like, you know, there's back and forth. The dialogue's, like, pretty decent. It feels, like, pretty realistic. And then, like, one of the guys just disappears. Like, we're all in the same room, and then he's just gone. And so then, you go look for him, and eventually you find, like, a secret passage down to, like, this basement area. And he's just, like, hanging from a meat hook. And then, he, like, falls on you.
Oh, of course, that's always...
Yeah.
If there's meat hooks, there's always a person hanging.
Yeah, and, like, he falls on you, and his, like, bleeding face is right in your camera. And then that's where the VHS tape ends. And then you come out of that, so you're sitting in front of the TV, you're standing there. And there was, like, a note from earlier, but there was new stuff written on it, like with blood or whatever. And that's when I was like, alright, I'm done for now. I don't want to turn around in this room and get butchered. So
I can't do horror games. Like, I can't do it. Even BioShock 1 is a little bit too much of a horror game for me, and it's not even a horror game.
Yeah, there's parts in that, like, where all the lights go out and there's just splicers running at you. Like, it's pretty creepy. To me, it's always just like, it's like, you know, you're playing the game and you're all, like, into it and everything, and then the room gets quiet and you don't know when there's, like, someone going to be there, and then, like, someone's just there, and then you throw your controller into a wall and you break it. I have not thrown my controller, but then nothing super scary happened. It's just sort of like building this atmospheric, like, tension. Yeah. I'm sure once something jumps out, I'll, like, scream out, like, fuck you or whatever. When's that game supposed to be out? I'm not sure. I could check real quick. I know the VR is supposed to come out, what is it, October 26th, I think, of this year? Something like that. Is that the PlayStation VR? Yeah. Which this will be playable on, but I don't know if it's just the demo is going to be playable on that, or... Is that whole game playable in VR? Yeah. I believe so. Okay. And also, it's all first person, which will be interesting. Let's see. Alright, so I got the release date. The release date is January 24th. Okay, for PlayStation and PC, I didn't know. Oh, and Xbox One. Okay. Okay, so it's just the demos for PlayStation only, and it'll be the demo. I'm pretty sure you can play on PlayStation VR once that comes out. Cool. I think. And you still playing a little bit of Doom? Yeah, I haven't played it in a few days, but I must be getting close to the end. Like, it feels like I am. You're still not done with that game? Yeah, I just had a lot of other stuff going on, so I haven't really had a chance to play it too much. I started watching One Punch Man, and that took up most of my free time. How are you liking One Punch Man? So I've been skeptical of that show. I finished it. I like it a lot. I think it's really funny, and the writing's really clever. Is there only one season? I think so. It's like 12 episodes, and they're all 20 minutes, or right around there. Okay. It was really good. I liked it a lot. Is that, to me... That was always pitched to me as like a Dragon Ball Z parody, kinda. Yeah, it kind of is. Like the characters real over the top. Yeah, the characters definitely are over the top. He kills people with one punch. Yeah, that's the whole thing, right? That's his whole thing, yeah. Which I thought was like a pretty dumb premise. I was no, it is a dumb premise. Yeah, I was like, how is there going to be any conflict at all? Like, he can just do that. To me, that's just like Superman. Like, it's just boring. But he's like stronger than Superman. It's really... I don't know. It's incredible that they're able to make such a compelling show with that as the premise.
Is it really compelling? Is that the word you would use?
It makes me want to watch it. It compels me to want to watch it.
All right. I don't know. I've always remained skeptical of that show.
Yeah. It's kind of like a parody of like that Dragon Ball Z type genre. But yeah, it's worth it.
I had to look into that just because you said it's parody of Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
But I also got my hands on Doom.
Yeah.
I played the demo a bit last night, and I don't know, man. I don't think that game is for me.
Really?
I played the whole time. I could see what this game was wanting me to do. I could see what it wanted, like the fast-paced movement and you don't even reload, which was cool.
Yeah,
there were parts about that game where I can see what they're doing and what they want, but I wasn't having it. I didn't like the glory kills were cool, but the guns, I didn't like the guns and their shooting. The shooting was too fast paced. I felt like never has a game made me realize how bad I am at shooters than Doom.
Not Overwatch?
Doom made me realize how bad I am at shooters because of the really fast movement. You really move really quickly in that. And I had a hard. I kept running out of ammo. The ammo seemed like it was kind of too hard to notice.
Were you playing it on regular, or what were you playing on?
Regular, hurt me plenty was the difficulty, I think.
Yep.
And then the ammo I had a hard time finding in the environment. Mm-hmm. And I kind of felt like the glory kills. I know later on you get a chainsaw that when you kill people with the chainsaw you get ammo.
Yeah.
But I kind of felt like the glory kills should give you health and or ammo.
They do give you health.
I know it gives you health. I know that's the whole point of the glory kills. But.
Yeah. And also there's the rune system, which you unlock from doing challenges and stuff in the game.
And what did those do? That wasn't in the demo.
So it's various things. I'm trying to remember. I know one of them though is you can launch into glory kills from farther away, and then once you get enough glory kills, it upgrades to that you can still launch into them from farther away, but now monsters will also drop armor.
Okay.
When you do that. So I
don't know. I don't know what about that game. It just the levels. I could see the levels look really cool, but it felt like it was just you got thrown into a pit and you kill some demons, and the music was really getting me going. I was like, oh yeah, this is really cool, and then I was playing. I was like, yeah, I'm not feeling I wasn't having fun with it, and. The whole time I was yeah, I can see what they want. I can see what they're doing, and it's definitely a good game. But I was I just
what
Call of Duty has always been my Call of Duty was my main experience with shooters, and that's so far away from.
It's really different, yeah. What
that it's I'm not that kind of person.
What kind of guns did they have in the demo? I don't remember what's available in the first level.
The shotgun and the pistol.
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot more than that in the rest of the game.
I just. Sometimes I would have a hard time finding the other demons. I would get, just because I was moving so fast, it was hard to, get my bearings, and I would hear the growls that there were demons, and I'd be like, where the fuck are they? They're, camouflaged. Everything is so brown.
Yeah, and, those imps kind of jump around a lot.
Yeah, but I definitely get, I get why that game is getting all the success it's getting. I get it, and...
Yeah.
It's just not me.
It's not your style of game.
I wasn't born in the 70s or 80s and playing Doom.
I can't believe that.
I know, right? My fault.
Yeah.
Besides Doom, I got into Dishonored.
Oh yeah. How I saw you had played that previously. How far did you get before you started again recently?
I think the third mission.
Okay. It's been a while since I played it.
Yeah, so when I first started playing it again, I noticed that my last save was June 22nd of 2013, 3 years ago, almost 4 days from now.
Yeah.
So I was like, damn, good timing.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dishonored 2 was being shown a lot at E3, and so I figured like, oh man, I haven't beaten Dishonored 1, and I had fond feelings towards that game.
Yeah.
So I figured I'd play it again. Somehow my save was still intact, but I decided to start all over because I tried to jump back into my old save, and it's been 3 years almost exactly since I last played that game, and it, I had no idea what I was doing,
or even like what's going on, where in the story.
Yeah, I had no idea. But yeah, so I started playing again, and I'm on the first mission. I'm on. I just what is it? Tampered with the distillery. I poisoned their elixir stuff.
Okay. I'm trying to remember that part.
Yeah, I'm trying to do... Like, I remember when that game first got announced, the coolest thing that I remember hearing about it was you could go through the entire game without killing anyone.
Yeah, it's tough, though, to do it like that.
So that's what I'm trying to do.
Okay.
And I'm also trying to do the whole thing be undetected. And some parts of this, like I really, really, really wish I could have the mission stats anytime.
Yep.
Because I don't know what counts if I'm detected or not.
Yeah, I think it's if combat starts, or like if they start shooting at you.
Well,
but
so here's
an
example. Like, so you know, one of the first things you do in the game is you talk to Granny Rags, right? Like, you remember that part.
Yep.
And she tells you there's like 3 people knocking on her door, and she's like, take care of them.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, and they're all surrounded the door, and it's hard to like. I couldn't get one of them away, and I didn't want to be detected.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did was I got behind. There was 3 of them. I got behind them. I chokehold one, pulled him back without the other guy noticing.
Yeah. And
then I took a sleeper dart, shot the other one, and very quickly chokeholded the remaining guy.
Yeah.
But for a slight second, it looked like the detector noise went off.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, fuck. Like, did I get detected or not? Like, I mean, it sounded like I did, but like then I immediately knocked them out. Like, it's not like they saw me or anything.
Yeah, like I know at the end of levels it'll display your stats and stuff like that. But it would be
if you go through this entire mission, and then, like, I find out I was detected just because of that one thing, I'm going to be really upset.
And also, like, the missions are so long in it that you don't want to really restart from, like, really far down the line. Yeah, hopefully Dishonored 2, they have, like you said, a way to track your stats, like, in missions.
Yeah, it's just cool. Like, is that too hard? Is that too much to ask for? Like, I just want to know, if,
just
like...
detections, kills...
If Ghost... not available. Like, all it has to say is like you pop at the menu and it says, "Oh, Ghost X'd out because he fucked up." You know, like,
and then you can restart from the checkpoint.
And then I would know I would restart because like it doesn't seem like from that like it's like I don't think I was detected. Like the guy turned around, but then I immediately chokeholded him, so I'm pretty sure I'm still a ghost. You know?
Yeah.
It's just like there's like those minute little details. It's just like as far as like I'm really trying to get this achievement, it's making it difficult.
Yeah, that game was a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun. Like the environment is really cool. Like the art style is really, really nice.
Yeah, and even stuff like taking down even like your overall like large targets, taking them down in a non-lethal way. A lot of those options were really interesting, and some of them were even worse than like just killing them. Like, well,
it's just, to me it's cool that like it's a game, about stealth and assassins and everything.
Yeah.
But you can go through the entire game without killing a single person. I just think that's neat.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. I played like a bit of a mix. Like I killed some people, and then in the DLC I killed like most people. Because you play as a different
But there's also like the whole chaos thing too, right? And that's completely separate.
Yeah. I mean, in the DLC, you play as a different assassin who's, like, in the main story, kind of a bad guy. And so, playing through that, I was like, yeah, I'll kill everybody. Like, this fits this guy. This is how he does stuff. The DLC is really
I'm
really
excited
good.
for the Dishonored 2, and I'll probably pick up the DLC once I'm done with Dishonored 1.
Yeah.
But it's a fun game. Like, I'm really enjoying it. Like, it sometimes it's... the spells are a little finicky, like the blink can be a little finicky with its targeting.
Yeah.
But it's so much like besides that they feel really good. It like it's done it does world building really, really well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really fun. Like the whole when you blink across the buildings and stuff, that just feels really awesome.
Yep.
But besides that, I've still been playing WoW.
Oh yeah.
I realized the other day I was like, I'm doing all this stuff to make a lot of gold and stuff.
Yeah.
But then the pre-patch came out on the PTR like a week ago, and so now in a month the pre-patch is going to come out, and it's going to make all the stuff I'm doing useless. And I'm like, why am I even?
What do you mean? You'll still have the gold though.
But yeah, but I'm setting all that stuff. I'm not making a lot of gold now. I'm doing all this stuff. I'm trying to get all my garrison ships the right kind, and it's a bunch of RNG. You had to rebuild the same ship over and over again until you get the right crew. It's really annoying. But I'm wasting all this time and energy and garrison resources, all this stuff.
Yeah.
And then by the time I get to where I need to get to,
it'll be
the pre-patch
out.
the pre-patch is gonna come out.
Yeah.
And all my progress. So I was just realizing the other day, what the hell am I doing? Why am I? What am I doing?
Yeah. Even when there was,
everyone has that moment in WoW when you go what am I doing?
Why am I doing this? Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes it's when you were circling an Ogremar for hours, and then you realize why am I even playing this game?
Not even talking to anybody, just listening to music and
flying
around.
Circling an Ogremar.
Yeah.
Waiting for something to happen you don't even know.
Yeah. I haven't done that in a long time.
Yeah. You realize that you're kind of when you look at your slash played, and you realize how much of that was just me sitting in org.
Yeah.
Sitting there.
Probably a lot of it.
probably a couple of days worth.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of WoW, I've been thinking about seeing the new movie again in IMAX 3D.
Really?
And I don't want to give them my money, but I kind of want to see it again without without going into it hoping for anything. You know what I mean? Just to see it as a cinematic experience.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna wait until the director's cut comes out.
Yeah, that too. I want to see what they
cut. That
has
45 minutes. I think they said 45 minutes of cut.
I think it was 40 or 45, and what I wonder what they would have cut from it, because the movie wasn't that long. It was right around 2 hours. And I feel they could have put.
I wonder if maybe wow, I feel that someone I remember reading that the Khadgar and Medivh fight looked like it was missing some stuff. It felt really forced and sped up.
Yeah.
So someone thinks that some of the cut footage would be from there, but not entirely 45 minutes.
Yeah. Well, if the cut footage is just an entirely different duel that's actually good, I'd be okay with that.
True.
Instead of just
I don't know. Wait for that to come out.
Yeah.
For the director's cut.
It'll be.
But we've been playing Overwatch too. We're still chucking along with that game.
Yeah, I wish my internet could keep up a bit better. It's really. Yeah.
You're doing good for what you got.
Yeah. Yeah. The game is so fun, but when you're stutter stepping and stuff like that, and, but you're just holding W, that's really annoying, really frustrating.
Definitely. They have they just released some stuff about the competitive competitive multiplayer coming out. Should be end of this month, I believe, or end of next month.
That's kind of cool. I wonder we should see about getting our whole pre-made team together and playing some of that.
We should, though. I don't think we'd be that good.
Yeah, I mean, probably not.
We almost do better when we have 3 of us and we're playing with 3 randoms.
Yeah.
And we somehow manage to make that work.
I don't know who the weak players are on our team, but yeah.
It's not. No one's a single weak player. It's just collectively
we're just not a great team. Yeah.
Collectively, we're just dumb.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, the game continues to be fun.
Yeah.
I don't know what keeps drawing me back. I just got my legendary skin for Reaper.
Nice. You bought one?
I got the 1,000. Got the 1K, the stack, and I threw it down on the Plague Doctor.
Nice.
It was a hard choice. It was a really, really hard choice.
Yeah,
I think that guy's a show.
I think the El Blanco and the other mariachi one, I think they're really funny, but I think the Plague Doctor and Raven ones just look really cool.
Yeah. I hope I'm sure they're going to keep adding more skins, but I hope they add more skins and stuff more frequently.
Yeah.
They just really the skins, the legendary skins. have like a million ways they could go, and like even like if you look at Heroes of the Storm, like all the skins on there, like I hope at some point the Overwatch skins
get to that degree of like how
like where that's like just craziness and like
I like funny ones and like holiday skins. But mostly I like skins that look really cool.
Well, yeah.
But
I've also been watching Lost a little bit.
Yeah, how's that?
I'm on the last season. I just watched the first episode of the last season,
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, are you disappointed yet, or is that not set in yet?
So interestingly enough, and this is all I'll say about Lost. I'm on the first episode of the last season, and I just finished the first episode, right? And I'm like, that would have been a good ending for the entire series. Like the first episode ended, and I was like, if the show ended right there, I would have been fine.
Yeah.
So
there's
now
a lot
of
points where they could have ended it.
I wonder what will happen. Like
Yeah.
I accidentally looked up some stuff on the wiki too, and I was like,
yeah, it's a mess. The story really takes a nosedive later on. Like I guess not necessarily a nosedive. It's just really not satisfying and confusing, and like I wish they could have just spelled out like this is what it is instead of like
all the time travel stuff is getting all nuts.
Yeah.
My favorite character just got himself killed by his mom, so
I don't even remember that.
His mom shot him.
Wow.
Only in Lost,
yeah.
But moving on to some news, E3 just wrapped up this week.
Yeah, a lot of cool games there.
Which gave us quite a lot to talk about. Like, let's see how many stuff we have on this list. 1, 2, 3. We have like 15 games alone, just from E3.
Yeah, 15
that
games.
Piqued our interest.
Yeah, 15 games that look cool.
Yeah, off the top of our head. E3 was very awesome this year. E3 was very awesome, especially that Battlefield 1 stream with all the celebrities.
That was maybe
Zac
my favorite.
Efron, Snoop Dogg,
Jamie Foxx,
Terry
Crews, Wiz Khalifa.
Snoop Dogg had some secret weapons.
The grenade game.
Tanks. Everyone likes tanks.
That's all. I'm all about the tanks.
All about the tanks. And who was it? Was it Terry Crews that was like, "Oh, I'm all about the mouse and keyboard"? And he was like, "I'm just gonna show everyone the mouse and keyboard." And I was like, "Oh, you go, Terry Crews."
Yeah.
Go.
But then also when they showed him playing, he was like looking down at the keyboard, like he had to check keys and stuff. And like, I don't know what that's about. I have no idea what that was about.
Maybe someone put Terry Crews up to it.
Yeah, they're like, pretend you're a PC gamer.
Yeah, just pretend you use the mouse and keyboard. That's what they like. They like that stuff.
Yeah.
Don't know why.
I remember somebody said C. Nanners' name, like while they were playing, but I never saw him.
I wouldn't have been surprised to see C. Nanners there. There was a lot of people there. There was Phil Spencer was, I think, even playing in that game, the Xbox.
I don't know who that is.
Phil Spencer's the Xbox lead.
Oh, okay.
Xbox, I think, is his like official title.
Okay.
But yeah, first one on the list we have here is We Happy Few.
Yeah.
That Microsoft game. Can't remember who the developers are, but they have some interesting pedigree.
Yeah, I don't know too much. The developer's Compulsion Games. It's not something I'm super interested in. Like, it looks cool, and I think a lot of people will like it, but for me, it's not quite the type of game I'm looking for.
The trailer was just super cool. Like, it was... Yeah. The game is based on, like, this dystopian world where, like, everyone takes this medicine they call the joy.
Yeah.
And if you don't take it, like, you just start... you start seeing... If you do take it, you start seeing, like, a bunch of rainbows and happiness and sunshine.
Yeah.
And it completely, like... It's like taking, like, acid.
Yeah.
But not as crazy, but kind of as crazy.
It may be crazier because it's like mandated.
Yeah, well, yeah, maybe. And also that scene with the rat being a piñata.
Yeah.
Really creepy.
Yeah.
But like, so the whole world, you have to take this joy, and the whole game is like you have to go through the world and convince them that you're taking your joy, and if they don't think that you're taking your joy, they'll like kill you. And you have to like make sure you're talking people the right way, make sure you're walking right, and like not doing anything.
Yeah.
Be like, oh, you're out of your joy.
What do you know what the overall goal is? Like, other than convincing people that you're one of them, like, what are you trying to do?
I think it's to escape the city or something. Okay. They say that they're actually adding. I think the main character is to escape the city, but they're going to add other characters.
Oh, okay.
That will have different goals.
That's kind of cool.
Really neat.
That's like
because it is a roguelike. Like it's if you mess up and you die, they catch you. You start all over.
That's almost like Sorry, go ahead.
Well, it's also procedurally generated, which is really neat.
It's almost like a Don't Starve type thing. If they add different characters, where they all have like different things about them and different goals. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and every playthrough is completely different, as the standard tagline with procedure generation. But like they're somehow making it so like the same story beats will get mixed in.
Yeah, which is interesting. I don't know how
I don't know how they're doing that, but like I guess you're guaranteed to hit like certain tiles.
Yeah, probably like a Diablo type thing where like the map changes and probably other stuff changes, but there's always like the same exit or whatever.
Well, yeah, they said one of their main goals was like everyone wants to come away. Like there's a bunch of like mini narratives.
Yeah.
In each playthrough,
and like
it looks really interesting. Like the world kind of looks Dishonored-ish.
Yeah.
And it has that painting vibe to it.
Is it sort of steampunkish too? Like it's a little bit.
Kinda. Like it starts out with this guy. Like he's
at the typewriter.
Yeah, it's not like a typewriter. It's like a thing where he censors news.
Yeah.
He's trying to go through the news and censor all unhappy things.
Yeah.
And it has like a really cool there's a tube where he gets the papers in. He slides them into the thing and he wipes censoring blades over it. It's very steampunk. It's not very steampunkish, but it's kind of
sort of steampunkish. Yeah.
Dabbles in it. But yeah, that was one of the first games that really drew out to me. And then Sea of Thieves is also another Microsoft exclusive.
Sea of Thieves looks really, really cool.
Yeah, that game is developed by Rare.
It
definitely looks like a Rare game. It definitely looks like the same people who did Banjo and Kazooie.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely looks like it has that Rare feel. It looks like it's just a ton of fun.
It looks really cool, especially I don't know what the maps are going to be like, or if it's just a procedurally generated world, or how that works. But the fact that you can just explore islands, or you can all get on a ship and go wherever, like that's really, really cool.
Yeah. Apparently, every ship in that game is a player ship. There is no NPC ships.
Okay.
They wanted the players to know that like when you see another ship, it's real. It's on.
Do you know how the multiplayer works? Is it like it's not? I'm assuming MMO, but is it like you join lobbies? Is it?
I think it's like a seamless thing. Like I'm guessing it'll be like when you're in the ocean, it'll instance you with other players. So I'm pretty sure they've said it's going to be like a seamless, like almost Destiny-like kind of thing.
Okay, that's cool. That's really cool, actually.
It's just, to me, like it's really neat that everyone has a goal on the ship or has a role on the ship.
Like Guns of Icarus type thing.
Yeah. And even like if you get a hole in your ship, you have to like all go down and plug the hole up.
Yeah.
Stuff. And there's loot in it. It's a straight up. It is an RPG. There's loot. There's quests.
That's awesome.
There's all sorts of stuff.
Do you know the release date for that? If they announced it? I don't actually know. Because it looks really, really cool.
Set to release in 2017.
Okay, just the year.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I can't wait for that game. It's going to be on probably the Windows Store and Xbox.
Yeah.
That's what Xbox is now doing. Most of their... I think they said like most of their Microsoft exclusive stuff will be available on Windows 10 and the Xbox, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Even though it makes me want to not get an Xbox anymore. Why would I?
Yeah. It's literally just for Halo at this point.
Well, no, wait. There's rumors that even Halo 6 will be on Windows 10.
So then, yeah, maybe they're phasing it out because they lost to PlayStation. I don't know. I don't think they lost. They probably made a ton of money, but...
I think Microsoft is really going in this direction of...
Windows 10.
Well, yeah. But like, we're not a console maker anymore. we're like Apple. Like, you're just in the Windows ecosystem. Your Xbox plays your Windows stuff. Your Windows PC plays your Windows stuff.
Yeah, and if they start having messages on Xbox that are like, hey, think about upgrading to Windows 10 by buying a PC.
No, it's not think about upgrading to Windows 10. It's like,
will.
hey, your Windows 10 upgrade is starting at 5 minutes.
I hope you're ready to buy a PC because it's upgrading.
Yeah, it's upgrade time.
Yeah.
Like, no, Windows, no, not like this.
Click here to learn more or start it sooner. Like, yeah.
What if I don't want to? That's not an option.
Yeah. What are you going to do?
Can't do it. But yeah, it's interesting to see they're going in that direction.
Yeah.
It's going to be weird. Like, it's like, I think Sony is also kind of going into action, but also much slower. Like, Microsoft
don't think
seems
Sony
like
is. I don't know.
I mean, I think at some point consoles are just gonna become PCs, right? Like,
what? Yeah, but like, what else does Sony have? Like, they don't have a Windows platform type thing the way Microsoft does. Like, you have the PlayStation.
They can always make one.
That'd be weird, though. I wouldn't buy a Sony PC. I mean, if they had a client...
Well, it might not even be a Sony PC. It might be, like, a Sony client.
Yeah. Yeah, if they had, like, a Steam client for Sony games. But I would rather just they put them on Steam or Origin or anything. Like, and rather than me having to make another account.
You know, that's one of Microsoft things. Like, a bunch of people were like, well, I don't want to get out of my Steam library.
Yeah.
And they even said, like, we're not saying everything will always be exclusive to the Windows Store. Phil Spencer said some stuff saying, he's like, Valve is one of our partners. We're not always going to have stuff exclusive to the Windows Store. So they're not like...
Just the good games.
Yeah, just the ones you want. Like Quantum Break.
Yeah, just AAA smash hits like Quantum Break. Games that everybody loves. Yeah, total home runs of games like Quantum Break. I don't actually...
another awesome game we saw... Go ahead.
I was just going to wrap that up. I don't actually know much about Quantum Break. I just like to talk shit about it.
Yeah, but I know it's a bad game.
Yeah. So go ahead.
But yeah, another awesome game we saw at E3 was Dishonored 2.
Yeah, which we talked about a little bit before.
Yeah, but like that game just looks a lot of fun.
Really cool. They always have really good soundtrack choice for their trailers. Like, it's just really atmospheric. The original one, I still don't think you can beat the Drunken Whaler one. Like, that was amazing. But this
really fitting.
Yeah, this one still looks really good. And I think you can play as Corvo or Emily. Like, I don't know how that works.
Yeah, you can do either one. Apparently, you can play through the whole game as either Corvo or Emily. I'm not sure if that's something you like pick from the start in your set, or if you can swap at any time.
Yeah, like you meet for each mission. In between, you meet back at base and choose who's going to go out.
I also think they have separate powers and abilities. I'm not sure.
Do you know if you get to choose, or is it you can play as Corvo and Emily depending on the mission, and it's like preset?
I think you can choose.
Okay.
Because there was that part in the trailer they showed where it was like, Emily and Corvo had their backs like against each other, and you can imagine, you can see that being like where they go, okay, pick who you want to play now.
Yeah. I had one other thing to say on that. I don't remember. If you have anything else to say, go ahead.
But yeah, that game looked like the powers in that game. They had that shadow ability.
Oh, like the crawling shadow?
Like a shadow monster. Yeah.
That was really cool.
They also had that thing where what was the coolest one I saw was it was like something where you do a thing on one person and you connect it to say like 3 other people, and now anything you do to the one person happens to the 3 people.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So you can knock that one guy out and the other 3 be out.
Yeah, it's really cool the stuff they're doing, like with combos and things like that, and like specialty kills. Like,
and I hope they continue the trend of where you can't kill people. I hope they can continue that trend.
Or you get a better ending if you don't kill people. Yeah.
Yeah, like I just remember the first Dishonored game was always to me like really interesting. It would be like, yeah, you can play through the whole game without killing people.
Yeah.
So I hope they continue that trend, and it definitely still has that atmospheric thing with that painty look to it.
Yeah.
And this time it's not rats all over the city. It's like, what is it? It's locusts or something?
Oh, I don't actually know. Yeah, I don't know.
I can't remember. Sometimes it's not rats this time, but there is some sort of like plague-like thing.
Okay.
I think it's like locusts or something like that.
Yeah, it'll be cool too if we get to see a little bit more of that world. Like the first one was really good at setting up this really interesting world, and like describing the other cities and stuff. Even though you're only ever in Dunwall.
For sure.
Yeah, so it'll be cool. I hope. Like, I know they're gonna expand more on like the mystery stuff with like the outsider and all that. I hope that they don't make the mistake of like giving you too much detail and still keep it mysterious. Because that's what's
like I feel like that would be something like maybe they see like a trilogy in here, like Sonic 3 and that.
Because that's something that was a lot of fun, was just theory crafting on like what's his connection to anything, like to the whales, to the ocean, like it's really cool stuff. And I hope we find some answers.
That game has a really interesting. Yeah, that game has a really interesting like religious tone to it, like the outsider, and then like the
overseers.
Main religion at the start like loathes the outsider, right? Like they hate him.
And any like magic.
It's neat.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Moving on, we have God of War, the new God of War. I don't know if they're calling it God of War 4 or...
No, they're just calling it God of War, I'm pretty sure.
Really?
Which is, I feel like they should have some kind of subtitle.
Yeah, because it is a continuation of Kratos. It is the same Kratos.
And also, like,
he just decided to move to Norway.
Yeah, and like, there's already a game with Kratos called God of War, like, that exists already. So, yeah, hopefully they decide to give it some kind of thing.
I bet they will. Or maybe they won't.
Yeah, maybe they won't, but yeah, I don't know. It's still, the game itself looks really cool, like graphically, gameplay-wise, all that. Very cool.
It looks almost Dark Soulsy with the way
the way the combat was. Yeah.
Apparently, you will be playing through that whole game with your kid, with like the son.
Okay.
Like he is like your companion throughout the game, which is really
that's interesting. I don't know how I feel about that. Like, there've been a lot of great games where you have like a kid companion, like The Last of Us, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like in a God of War game, you almost want to just be like the God of War, just like without anything holding you back.
Well, I was starting to think, because the main weapon in this game isn't the chain blades things that he has. It's that axe that was in the gameplay trailer. That is his main signature weapon. And I was like trying to think of like what I liked about God of War and everything. And I was like, man, those chain swords, they were the coolest thing. Like every single time, those things were really cool. Yeah. And I was like, if he doesn't have those, I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not the same. It's just not the same.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. I'm excited to see how it is.
Yeah, it's apparently going to be like open world-ish, kind of like Tomb Raider.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So I think that's a pretty stray from the old games instead of it being like linear and
mission based.
Yeah.
The Tomb Raider games, those are pretty good.
They are, and I like how it's like you got one zone that's kind of like open. It's like your open world for that area.
Yeah,
it's kind of like Deus Ex.
Yeah, but like the missions will still take you to like specific places, and then eventually another zone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really cool.
Moving on, we also have Horizon Zero Dawn. Is that a Sony exclusive? Or?
As far as I know, it is. Because it's only ever been shown at Sony stuff.
That's the one where they're hunting robot dinosaurs.
Yeah, that I still don't know like what to think. Like, it obviously looks really, really cool. Yeah, it comes out February 2017. Or that's their target.
February 28th.
Yeah. And it looks really, really cool. But I'm interested. Like, there was some stuff in the demo they showed, like facial animations looked really robotic between characters, and like the dialogue was just kind of clunky. But if that's sort of like a minimal thing in the game,
the combat looks really good.
Yeah, the gameplay itself looked really good. The world looks really cool, and like the story seems interesting.
Yeah, the robot dinosaurs are really.
That's
they
really,
sound
really cool.
Silly, but they're awesome.
Yeah. And just like you kind of want to figure out like what happened to their world and stuff like that, because it looks
and like it's really cool because they're adapting. They still use technology a little bit, like you can see them having like a little bit of technology incorporated into their society. Yeah. But it is like, it begs the question, like, what happened? Is this like post-apocalyptic or?
Yeah, there is evidence that they were like, there was this super advanced like futuristic society, and then it collapsed, and this is all that's left. Like way later.
I wonder if there's actually like real animals in the game too, or is it only like robots?
I think in a demo they showed like there was a squirrel or a rabbit or something. I'm
was
pretty
it
sure.
Really a squirrel?
It looked like it, yeah. Squirrel? It could have just been covered in fake fur. Yeah.
No. What if everything right now is a robo squirrel?
Yeah. What if we were all robo squirrels the entire time?
No, we're all Chris Metzen.
Yeah.
We're all Chris Metzen.
Yeah. What is geek? Geek is.
Well, another cool thing in that Horizon game was that what was it? That cable thing where you could like shoot the cable at the guy and shoot at the ground
and sort of like tether it until it falls over.
Yeah, that thing was awesome. That thing was. You would see the big guys, and then you would just whip it out, and you would like. It had like a really satisfactory noise too. It like had like a really good puncture noise, like a, and then you would get to the ground, and it like do that enough times, and then they're just stuck there, and you're like, ha.
Yeah, I really liked the part where you see the big guys, and you just whip it out.
You just whip it out.
No, that'd be really good for like if there's AT-AT style monsters in that game.
I'm sure there's going to be something that resembles an AT.
Yeah, like there's those.
If not, that is a missed opportunity.
Yeah, they already have the giant like giraffe, like brontosaurus robots. Like I'm sure they'll have a wide range of stuff. It looks really cool though.
I just can't wait till I get to take down Robo T-Rex or Robo Rex.
Exactly.
We still have Deus Ex: Mankind Divided.
Yep, still looks cool.
I didn't see a lot of that at E3. Did you? Like, I didn't see a lot of stuff coming out of that.
No, I watched a something from a little while ago where it was like gameplay in like a hub area.
Oh, was it? You saw that playthrough, right?
Yeah, I like skipped around.
What'd you think of that?
It looks cool. Like graphically, it looks really good. Gameplay-wise, it looks a lot like the first one, which is nice. Like it just seems like smoother, a little improved. I like that it's not 100% orange now, even though that was kind of like a cool theme in the other one. Like it was just kind of cool. Yeah. I don't know, but it's more, I guess, realistic, but still obviously like futuristic and stuff. Their art style's always been really cool.
Did you get the part where he gets his papers checked?
Yeah, I saw that. That was pretty cool. I mean, that's an interesting theme that, like, for augmented people, they now have all this stuff they have to deal with, even though...
How it, like, actually segregates them and everything.
Yeah, even though, as we know, he never asked for this, so...
He never asked for it.
Yeah.
Never asked.
Never even once did he ask for it.
I might replay that game as well.
I thought about doing that, but I don't think I will. Like, I already watched a full playthrough and then played through it all myself. So the new one, I wouldn't want to like burn out right before the new one.
Yeah, but that game's coming out pretty soon, actually, August 23rd.
Yeah, right around the same time as Legion for World of Warcraft. So that means
a lot of games. One thing I realized from this E3 is like there's games coming out in the fall.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Probably play Legion a lot. Well, we'll see. Hopefully it's good.
We'll see. That's rather optimistic.
We'll see if these games are good enough to tear us away from World of Warcraft.
I don't think anything. I don't think any one of these games would be good enough to take us away from Legion completely. If Legion is good, if we're having fun with Legion, I don't think we're going to be taken away from it.
Yeah, we'll see. I hope Legion's good. I hope these games are good too. So
another awesome announcement that Microsoft came out of E3 was Xbox Project Scorpio.
Yeah,
which has some like shocking specs.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't see the specs, but shocking claims.
Well, there was no specs, but they gave some shocking numbers that they could get.
Yeah, they said
six teraflops.
Yeah, running games at 4K resolution at 60 FPS. 60
FPS.
I feel like
he said 60 hertz, but that implies 60.
Yeah. Oh, if he said not 60 FPS, but
he said 60 hertz, but that's pretty much 60 frames.
It's running at 13 FPS, but it's refreshing constantly the screen.
Yeah, that's so it counts.
Yeah.
But it's just like One, how much? Like that has got to be.
It's got to be expensive as shit. Like it has to.
It's got to be over $1,000. Like
well,
definitely over $1,000.
If it's running things at 4K 60, if it's under like $900, that would be surprising. But like,
well, it is coming out the end of next year, so that gives them some time. But still, that's got to be low end $699. Low end.
Yeah, and I mean that seems absurd. Like console people typically don't pay that much for a console ever.
Yeah.
I said console people like they're not regular people. But like people, when you buy a console, you want it to be like about $400 is like the price point.
Yeah,
and even that's like a lot.
You want a box, and that's it.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see if they're determined to make it hold up to those claims. They have a lot of work.
They're not.
They have a lot of
they're
work
probably
to do.
not.
Yeah.
I mean, it is coming out the end of next year, so it gives them some time, but...
The thing that I don't like is they've also announced the Xbox One S, which is, I mean, on its own fine, because it's just like a slimmer version of it, a little updated look. But it just seems really weird that they're like, here's this like really powerful Xbox where we're starting the name with an S. And like people typically just remember like it's at the Xbox something with an S. And then when they see an ad for buy an Xbox S for like it was like $299 or something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that, and they see that and they're like, "Oh shit, that's the one." And like grandparents buying it for their grandkids are like, "The Xbox, the one with the S, that's the one." Like,
yeah.
I feel like it's just weird that they would call it that, even though like obviously Slim starts with an S, but like Scorpio as their code name. It just, I don't know. It feels weird.
Poor choice.
Yeah, they could have called it. Like,
it's even worse because there's a bunch of like different people are saying different things about the Xbox S. Like there was someone saying out there that it's a little bit faster than the Xbox One, and then Phil Spencer was like, no, it's the exact same thing as the Xbox One, just smaller.
It just feels faster because it's slimmer.
Yeah, and it does HDR, whatever that means.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they said HDR like a bunch of times during that press conference, and never once said what HDR. I think it's high dynamic range or high.
That's what it is. Or
okay.
I think it's high dynamic range.
I thought it was high definition resolution. I was like that.
I don't know.
So many different things.
Yeah. Yeah.
It'll be weird to see like if they can live up to those expectations
for the Scorpio. Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, I hope they can.
It's weird that they just announced both these things. Like they announced the Xbox S, and they announced the Xbox S, which doesn't have a Kinect port, by the way, which is really interesting.
Yeah, they seem to have pivoted 100% away from that.
Yeah.
Which
Thank God.
Yeah, they might as well. It was. Yeah.
But they announced the Xbox S. They announced Xbox Project Scorpio. And then they announced the Xbox Play, where like all Microsoft games are coming to to every platform on PC.
Yeah.
So to me, it's like, okay, well now I don't need to buy an Xbox.
Yeah.
I don't need to buy any of those.
Here's all these.
I saw the Xbox S and I was like, okay, I can shell out $299 for those. That's fine. And then they announced the Xbox Play, and I was like, well, forget it.
Oh yeah, I guess I don't have to because I have a PC with Windows.
Yeah, I have a.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like. To me, it's just like, I get it, but then that's the other side. It's just like, wait, now it seems like you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah, they're like, hey, here's all our new console models. Buy them, but also you don't have to because you can play any of these games anywhere else. Yeah. All right.
It's interesting. Like, who's the person who buys the Project Scorpio, right? Like, who are they trying to?
Yeah, it's like high-end console gamer, which is PC gamer normally. Like,
and usually, and the high-end console gamer, like, how many people are those? Is that enough to justify?
Yeah, are there enough people who are willing to spend that much on an Xbox but not on a PC?
Yeah, like some people just like don't touch PCs at all.
Yeah, which is, I guess. There's like at least 5 people who will buy it.
Yeah, there's like 5 of them. And if they sell 5 Scorpios, maybe they make a return.
A lot of times, though, the reason that people don't touch PC, other than like it can be confusing because either you have to build it, or even if you get it pre-built, you still have to worry about like setting stuff up. But a lot of times, the reason people don't touch them is because it's a lot cheaper to just buy a console and it just works.
Yeah, for like $400 to $300.
Yeah, but if the Xbox
plug it into your TV,
if the Scorpio version of the Xbox One is like super expensive, then all of a sudden that reason's gone. Like, because you could spend that much on a PC and still have it. Like, yeah, it's weird.
It is, and coincidentally, Sony had no mention of their PS4 Neo. It's kind of disappointing.
Yeah, they announced right before E3 that yes, we are working on it, and no, we won't talk about it. Like, which is weird. Like, they could have said anything. I don't know.
Yeah, because it's really disappointing. Because like I'm really hoping to I want to get a PS4 Neo
like by this
with
fall.
Final Fantasy this fall, so I can play Final Fantasy on it.
Yeah.
I don't want to get like a PS4 to play Final Fantasy just to have the Neo come out right after.
Yeah, and it seems like I don't know, the way their timeline is working, you may have to wait for that.
Yeah, which is a little disappointing.
Yeah.
But yeah, Final Fantasy was shown at E3, and it looked really. Did you see the demo with the giant fist guy?
The one where they were fighting that huge giant monster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That demo did not look good.
And like in terms of gameplay, how like every time he dodged, it would still hit him, shit like that. Or,
like the guy, it looked like he was playing really badly. It looked like he was just jumping around.
Well, I mean, he was
doing
on a stage in front of a ton of people.
Yeah, it wasn't a good like. That game looks awesome. Like that game looks really good, and like every time I see it, besides this one demo, I was like, yeah, this like I'm really excited for this game. But then that demo was like, it's just like it sucks to see like, yeah, that game is good, and you can show it well, and then this demo just did not show it well.
Yeah, the demo I played on PlayStation was pretty cool. Like it's not the combat's worse than something like Dark Souls, obviously, but it's like it's still a decent combat system. And like graphically, it's insane how good that game looks.
Yeah, and that game looks really, really good.
Yeah, I'm just so interested to see where it goes. It's been a long time since I've been interested in Final Fantasy.
I've never been interested in Final Fantasy, so
yeah. This and then the 7 remake. I'm just glad I have a like PS4 I can play them.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like I want to get a PS4. But like I don't want to get a PS4 and then PS4. Like I know the Neo is coming at some point. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah, hopefully it's not too far away. It would be nice if they released it for holiday.
I was hoping that there would be like a PS4 Neo Final Fantasy bundle.
Yeah, and there could still be.
There could still be, and to me that makes sense. Like that's probably one of the biggest
like flagship titles they could have.
Yeah, on this of this year.
Even though I was gonna say even though it's also gonna be on Xbox One, but like Destiny was the same way, and they had special edition. In
I think Final Fantasy has a deal with
Sony. Yeah, it might be coming out first on that. I don't actually know. I'm kind of excited for that. Like slowly excited.
I'm excited too. It's one of those games that comes out. I think it comes out sometime around the fall, right?
Yeah, it's It's definitely this fall for.
September 30th is date.
I'm very interested.
It's one of the games in the fall that I'm like, there's a lot of games in the fall. And like, what am I gonna do?
Hopefully, I still have money in the fall because the Steam sale's coming up soon.
Oh yeah, the Steam sale is coming up soon. Coincidentally, on payday.
Yeah, coincidentally.
It's funny how Gabe Newell does that.
Yeah, crazy how Steam do that.
They know.
Yeah.
We also have Detroit.
Yeah.
That game looked really cool, and then I heard some things, and I was like, never mind.
The premise is super cool, and graphically, it looks pretty cool. Which I say that a lot about a lot of these games.
That trailer was cool.
But like, impressive graphics impress me, like always. Like but and
it's E3 where they're gonna show their best stuff at the best time.
The premise sounds super cool. I'm just worried that gameplay-wise, it's going to be not so great. But that's not really founded on much. It's just I haven't heard anything good about it.
I heard someone playing a demo and talked about it, and one thing that kind of struck out with me was like, you go through like a game, you go through like part of a mission like that in that trailer where he comes to the suicide guy. You find objects in the world, and the more clues you find, the more options you have at that like final showdown.
Yeah.
Apparently, like you can see all their options; they're just grayed out, which is kind of like disappointing. Like you don't want to see that. Like you want to be able to just find.
That should be an option.
You want to be able to just. you should just be able to discover those. You don't want to see them and be like, oh, these are the ones you missed. Right?
Yeah, you should be able to set that in settings though. Like
I hope so. Like
because I can see the appeal for some people because you want to know like, did I get everything? Like, were there any other choices? Could this have gone better? And if you see those grayed out options, then you know, yeah, I could have. But also, there's people who just want to play through it. Like, you play through it your way, and then you don't want to
like now.
Yeah, you don't want to see the option as like, and they all lived happily ever after, and all yours are like, everybody died. Like, you don't want to have that like just in your face.
It definitely has like a lot of potential.
It looks like it could be very cool.
It almost looks like the Batman detective mode.
Yeah, or like the Witcher detective mode type stuff.
Yeah, or any game detective mode.
I guess it's not detective mode in The Witcher, but yeah, same thing.
No, Witcher's a detective. He's Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, the world's greatest
detective.
And
that one guy's his Winston.
Yeah, Watson.
I've been playing way too much Overwatch.
It's his Winston. It's his giant moon ape friend who can talk. And he does science.
And he likes peanut butter.
Yeah.
But yeah, Detroit, I'm like cautiously optimistic for.
I'm interested to see where it goes. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not hyped for it. I'm more excited for games like Final Fantasy, God of War, Dishonored, literally everything else we've talked about except We Happy Few.
Yeah. And then we have Vampire, which I know you're really excited about.
Yeah, I don't know why, but something about it just is really cool to me. I like games where it has sort of, I don't know what a good adjective would be, but like supernatural stuff in terms of like vampires and werewolves. Like,
oh, okay, like Victorian lore.
Yeah, like as overdone as it is in like pop culture, or it has been in the past 10 years or so, like with things like Twilight and all that stuff. I think, like, I really liked the premise of The Order 1886, even though I've been playing it a little bit, and it's obviously it's a bit of a disappointing game, but I really like the premise of like people turning into monsters, like stuff like that. Especially in that type of world where it's like Victorian or steampunkish, is pretty cool. And the company behind it made Life is Strange, which is
so weird.
Yeah, this seems like a completely different game. At least it was only like a cinematic trailer, but there were parts of it that looked like gameplay, like when he was fighting the people in the town square.
Apparently in that game, like every NPC you're able to take blood from. Yeah,
there was that scene right at the end of it where he sort of goes into like vampire vision mode, and you just see everybody's heartbeats and like blood or circulatory systems.
And apparently, like, if you take, like, the wrong NPC's blood, that, like, has effects on the world. Like, if you kill the shopkeeper, the shop closes down.
Yeah, it looks really, really cool. I'm really interested in how that goes, or how development of that continues.
Yeah, and apparently you can play through without killing people. Like, you could, you would be way weaker.
Yeah, it's almost like Dishonored.
Really neat. So you had to play that game of, like, how much do I kill people and stuff.
It's almost
like
a Dishonored style thing where it's like, or even like, I don't know if you remember the Sith Inquisitor storyline in Star Wars: The Old Republic, where it was like, do I absorb this power, like, or do I like, I don't know, like do the right thing, pretty much.
Yeah. Because you're a doctor. You're a doctor.
Yeah. It's just so cool.
Really neat.
Like the voiceover in that, the soundtrack, the visuals, everything about it is really compelling, and I'm really interested.
It definitely looks like an interesting game.
Yeah,
I think that will probably be that's probably the big sleeper hit
for me. It is
of E3. Like, it didn't get a lot of attention, but it definitely looks like they got something going. And especially since they were the people who did Life is Strange.
Yeah, and prior to it, I had no idea that they were even doing games like that weren't Life is Strange. And but seeing that trailer, I'm pretty excited for it. I'm interested to see how it turns out. It'd definitely be a good game. Do we have a release date on that? Let's see.
Was that when it was first announced?
2017 is release date. But they don't have an actual day, and the developer was Don't Nod Entertainment.
Okay, all right. Moving on, we have Nintendo's big thing, the new Legend of Zelda. Mm-hmm. Which looks nuts.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't look anything like The Legend of Zelda.
Well, it sort of does, but Yeah, it's taking it in a bit of a new direction.
It's has like a sound meter and a thermometer, and
yeah, that's cool
weapons
stuff.
Weapons have durability.
It's really interesting. Yeah.
You have to craft things. Like, what is this, Minecraft?
I mean, honestly, that could have been something that was a bit of an inspiration for them when they started, or when they were developing it. Because I'm sure
Nintendo is doing something really weird.
Yeah, well, I'm sure this game's been in development for a long, long time. It's been a while since Skyward Sword, I think, was the last, like, 3D Zelda, right?
Yeah, the last big Zelda release.
Yeah, like they do the mobile ones, which I know a lot of people like, but I've never been interested in.
The last one was pretty good, Link Between Worlds, I think.
Yeah, I've heard great things about them. It's something about it doesn't really interest me the same way like Ocarina of Time did or Twilight Princess.
Yeah. Well, Link Between Worlds did some interesting stuff on like the genre, but this is like way beyond like a twist. This is like a whole new.
Yeah, it goes from like puzzle adventure to like full on, or like puzzle adventure RPG to like full on like RPG.
Survival
with even like
RPG.
Survival elements. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. I wish they would release it on not Nintendo consoles, because I'm not going to buy a Nintendo console for it. I mean, there's a chance that I may, if it turns out
There's
to be
a chance
incredible.
that I may too. I may buy the NX when it comes out, because it is coming out on both the Wii U and the NX.
Maybe if I could just rent that from you to play through this game, and because I really don't want to buy it just for this.
Well, I'll be curious to see what the NX is, and then I'll probably, if like the NX looks really cool, then I'll probably get the Legend of Zelda.
I have pretty much zero faith in Nintendo. Like in terms of like their new console. Yeah, like I don't care what they put out. Like this is the only thing I'm interested in that they've done in the last like 10-ish years. Like I wasn't really interested in Skyward Sword for Zelda, and I don't really care about any of their other. I don't care about any of their other IPs. Like Mario, I still have Mario Party for GameCube. That's fine. I don't need a new one because it still plays fine.
Yeah.
Like. Yeah,
it's still Mario Party.
Yeah, I still have Mario Kart for N64. I don't really need a new one because it still plays fine. Like a lot of these things, like I just don't care about the stuff they put out. But I'm really interested in Zelda. That's always been a franchise that I've liked a lot.
Yeah.
But
I'm definitely gonna keep my eye on that new Zelda game. It's just so different than. Like it's definitely that like the biggest surprise out of E3. Definitely like, well, I never would have saw that coming. I thought the new Zelda would just be exactly like every other Zelda.
Yeah, and Breath of the Wild was the actual subtitle on that. I know I'd written down
Curse of the Black Pearl and Stranger Tides.
Yeah, which is pretty close. It's pretty close.
If Jack Sparrow was Link, and you had a ship named Epona instead of a horse.
A ship named Epona.
Yeah.
You have to play your like your pirate flute to summon it, and then
that's how it works.
Yeah, never kill chickens too.
Nintendo can hire us.
We clearly know what we're talking about.
We definitely know what we're doing.
Yeah.
PlayStation VR got shown a little bit at E3.
Yeah, a lot of the demos.
50 games they said were going to be on.
Yeah, that was their big thing. It was going to launch with 50
and
games.
Then they showed a bunch of things
with an asterisk.
That did not look like games.
They didn't look. A lot of things didn't look like full games. A lot of them are like Battlefront, the VR experience, which looks really cool. Like I would like to play a VR where I'm flying an X-wing or a TIE fighter. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But it's probably just going to be like one map where you can play on with other people. Or maybe not even with other people. The Batman thing looked really cool, but no gameplay, nothing.
It's just like that little one demo thing.
Yeah.
All these things are just like little.
They call them VR experiences.
Experiences.
Which is like
with influencers. You can experience.
Yeah,
you can experience these experiences.
You can watch influencers experience these VR experiences, and hopefully that influences you to buy it.
This is the new wave of media.
Yeah, but like, I hope a lot of them, they're definitely like little teaser things that like you play it and it gets you hyped to play their actual full-on game. I hope that the VR has actual full-on games. Yeah, like Resident Evil's the only one I know of that's a full-on game. that you can play with entirely with the PlayStation VR. And that looks really fucking scary. So like, I need something else other than that.
That would be the last thing I would want to play in VR.
I'll probably get it if I get a VR. Like, well, obviously because I'll need games to play on it. But I don't know. When it comes to VR, I lean more towards a VR headset that I could use for PC because there's just so many more options on PC. But the price point's really...
and you would assume that
Go ahead.
You would assume that the power on the PC would be better. It would be better for the VR experience.
The price point, though, on the PlayStation VR is really...
what is it, $399?
Yeah, $399. I think there's one other thing you need to buy like a PlayStation camera for like $50.
Oh yeah,
which
PlayStation,
that's fine. That's a little thing.
It's not too bad.
It's still cheaper than any other VR headset, which is probably the most attractive thing about it.
Yeah. But then you just gotta wonder that power is PlayStation 4 gonna be enough?
Yeah. It'll be interesting if they add like additional processing power, like with the VR like module.
If there's like a VR box.
Yeah, if there's like a box that you like plug into the PlayStation and the VR like connects to that, and so it gives it a bit of additional processing power, just graphical processing. Yeah. Yeah, I'll be interested to see how that turns out because like a lot of the games look really cool. Like I think one of them was called like Far Planet. That was the one where you're like on Mars or a Mars-looking planet.
Yeah.
And I saw someone playing it, and they have like a gun type thing, like that you hold. That's like your controller.
Yeah.
And like that looks really cool. I'm really interested in that.
Yeah, those stuff where you have like the gun thing in your hand, like where they take like Move controllers and make it into like a gun. Those things look really cool.
Yeah, I've always liked stuff like that, like Duck Hunt and stuff. I think that was the last time I
had
Duck
Hunt.
Yeah,
Duck Hunt.
That was the last time I had one of those. And the Wii did a lot of stuff like that though, with like you put it in a tennis racket or like a fucking steering wheel.
Well, when the Move first got announced, like way back, it was like 10 or something. They had like a thing with Killzone where they had this like
gun attachment.
Yeah, gun attachment where you took the Move controllers and you made it turn into a gun, and that was really cool.
Yeah, it's a cool thing. I just hope it's not. I hope that they're able to do games like that where you can actually walk around a full 3D environment and it's not just on rails or like you can only move forward or whatever. 'Cause like
I think it'll take a while to get there.
Yeah, and I don't know with that game how open it is. If it's pretty open, that's pretty cool. Like that was probably one of the more interesting VR launch titles for the PlayStation.
Which one?
That Far Planet one.
Oh, that Far Planet one?
Because you like shooting aliens and stuff. Like, I'm all about that.
All about shooting aliens.
Yeah. 100%.
The ones that come across our interplanetary border.
Yeah, the ones that have crossed over onto Mars illegally, which is probably actually us in that situation.
Yeah, definitely. We're
whatever. We're not. They're the aliens.
But this is America, so it doesn't count.
Yeah.
We also got Battlefield 1. Was that E3?
Yeah, with the rappers and the celebrities.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I was not very excited for Battlefield 1, but
same.
now I am. Now I am kind of... After seeing that Zeppelin fall, and then seeing its like Zeppelin carcass being the ruins there, and you can like fight along the Zeppelin thing, I was like, that's cool.
I still hate their web client. It's so dumb on PC, but the game looks cool.
Yeah, I wish they would like get rid of that web client.
And if there was a way like from the game where I could just watch that segment where the rappers were interviewed and it's really
all
awkward.
The time.
Yeah, if there was a way to access that at any time while playing that game,
I'd be
sold. Yeah. They would have me hands down. I will probably still buy it eventually, but I'd probably wait for it to go on sale. We'll see. Because like I'm interested.
It definitely looks like I had no interest going into E3, but then after that demo with all those crazy rappers and Terry Crews and Zac Efron, Snoop Dogg, I was like, yeah, this game actually looks really, really fun. Like it looks interesting.
Yeah.
And even more surprising was Call of Duty, like that when they were showing that gameplay. I was like, is this even a Call of Duty game? And then I was like, this is a Call of Duty game.
It was this is some kind of space sci-fi game, and then they were like, Call of Duty. Well, they said Reyes, and then I was like, okay, it is Call of Duty. because that's
It's
the name they
it's
use
a
in all of
military
them.
shooter.
Yeah.
Yeah, Reyes.
Reyes is, I think, a character in everyone.
Yeah,
or at least it
I've
feels
never
like
thought
it.
I'd never thought I'd be interested or like kind of excited for both Battlefield and Call of Duty
In the same year.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
at all
Like,
lately. Like I haven't
I know a lot of people are so
felt that excitement.
I know a lot of people are so sick of like the future stuff, but like I really like it a lot. Like I really liked Black Ops 3, but I wished it was more futuristic. And this
Yeah.
is you're in space, like on spaceships, and not like space shuttles, like actual full-on like space destroyers.
It looks like some straight up Ender's Game bullshit.
Yeah, which is awesome. And I hope
Right?
there's like
Right.
yeah, I hope it's not just people versus people. It'd be really cool if there were aliens. I know that'd be way off the rails for Call of Duty.
Probably.
I mean, actually, they did it for like zombies mode or something, didn't they?
Yeah.
So
Modern Warfare 3, I think.
I think it was Ghosts, wasn't it? I mean, they might not.
Oh
have been
yeah, it
both.
was Ghost. It was.
I know Ghosts had like some weird stuff in the. Like,
But yeah,
related
that
to
game it definitely like, that trailer came out and everyone hated it, but I
liked the
I didn't
trailer.
care for it. Like I was just like, yeah, it's Call of Duty in space now. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I'm I guess a bit of a Call of Duty fanboy, but like I liked the trailer. I was like, I want to go to space. Like, I want to play a Call of Duty game where you're in spaceships. Like, that's awesome.
It looks like it's gonna have some fleet commander stuff, like where you're, like if I'm the commander of like a starship, I'm satisfied.
If I'm a soldier on a starship, I'm satisfied. Like,
I don't know. I really want to be commander. I want to be admiral.
Imagine a co-op campaign where you could have like one of the players is playing as the admiral, like Natural Selection 2, where like somebody's playing as the commander and the other players are playing as like
that
the
would
soldiers.
be a cool game. If
That'd be
having
awesome.
like Sea of Thieves in space.
Yeah, even if it was like just like you versus AI, like that would still be really really cool for like one player to be the commander and like working on infrastructure, and everybody else can play just soldiers.
I'm pretty sure someone's tried that before, but it didn't really work.
I mean,
out too
NS2 did it, and NS2 is awesome, but
well, I'm not like a full-on like spaceships, like admiral of
yeah.
a giant like space carrier.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know any other game that's done that.
One of the last things we got is like probably the weirdest one that came out of E3, Death Stranding, Kojima's new thing.
Yeah, Norman Reedus with his disappearing baby.
This
and
cesarean baby.
This, I don't even know what to say about that. Like, it's
and
so
his,
weird.
necklace of USBs.
Like, I'm literally not even interested in it. Like, it just looks so weird. Like, I don't know what I should be excited for. Norman Reedus having a kid? Like, I have no idea.
And then there's those 5 people in the distance that were just floating in there.
Yeah, and it's like, alright, it looks interesting. I don't care, because this could literally be anything. Those 5 people could all be birthday clowns. I don't know. Like, I have no idea. And it
at
doesn't
least
make
one of them is bound to be a birthday clown.
And it doesn't make any fucking sense at all. Like, it's
because there's nothing to make sense of.
completely-
There's nothing.
Yeah, as far as trailers go,
nothing there.
I've never seen a more batshit insane trailer for anything. Ever. As far as I
That
can
whole
think of right
time
now.
I was just like, what is this thing? Like, what is this?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to think about it. I feel like...
Here's where it wound up, but like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna keep my distance.
Kojima definitely has ideas, but I feel like they could use a little bit of structure. We'll see, obviously.
Yeah,
like,
sometimes someone needs to be there to be like, hey, Kojima,
Hey, what if we
sometimes
make
you keep this to yourself?
What if we make a coherent plot line? What if we... Have you ever thought about making a story that makes sense to a human being?
Yeah. I like Norman Reedus. We can keep him.
Yeah, maybe
It's the baby.
Maybe he still has a baby, but maybe his significant other has the baby. There's still a baby, Kojima. I know you really wanted that. And maybe he still has the baby.
That's the thing he gets caught on is Norman
Reedus must have a C-section.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, obviously that game still has potential, but like, I have no interest in it, no idea what to expect from it. Like, we'll see how it shakes out. I don't know.
Yeah. And last thing that we got is Titanfall 2, which I'm like super excited about.
Yeah, I was hoping we'd see a trailer, but like, I wasn't super excited for it. but like before E3. But after watching that trailer, seeing the gameplay and stuff, I'm probably more excited for this than almost anything else.
Yeah, it's definitely like that trailer for the campaign.
Yeah, I'm interested.
Awesome. Like right when the Titan's voice came on, I was like, "Oh, hello, Optimus Prime."
Yeah, I didn't even think about that till we were watching it the second time when you said that.
Yeah, it's just that Optimus Prime straight up. Like, this might as well be a Transformers game.
Oh man, I was gonna say I would love a Transformers game, but actually I'm not really interested in them.
Well, it's gonna be really interesting, like where they take the story in this game. Because like, I was reading somewhere, someone pointed out like, they say the rules that the Titans have to follow.
Yeah. And
they're not just like Asimov's laws of robotics. They got their own rules.
Yeah.
Apparently those weren't good enough.
The Titan was talking about its own like guidelines or whatever, which are like protect the pilot, do some other stuff. I don't remember.
Yeah, what was interesting was Rule 2 was complete the mission.
Oh, yeah.
Rule 3 was protect the pilot. So people were saying like, oh, I wonder if there'll be at some point where the Titan sacrifices you.
What was the first one? Connect to pilot or something?
No, I think...
It was like link with pilot or something like that. It was like Rule 1.
Yeah,
something like that.
Follow the pilot.
Yeah. And then it was complete the mission.
Rule 2 was complete the mission. Rule 3 was protect the pilot.
Yeah, so I'm so interested in that. And like I really like
it looks cool.
The world that they've set up might be kind of generic, like where it's like, oh, the colonies rebelled and whatever. But like I'm interested. I think it's cool. I want to see more of like not quite the politics of that world, but like how that war like shakes out. Like they sort of went into it with Titanfall 1, but it's kind of incoherent because the way that they did the campaign,
non-existent storyline.
Yeah, the way they did the storyline stuff, it was looping, so you never really knew where in the story you were, what was the final mission, what was the first mission, because it just like on the playlist it would just keep looping. So like you could make some sense of it, so like you get that there's a war going on and stuff like that, but that's about it. But yeah, the gameplay looks really cool. The grappling hooks, like the Kung Fu Titan. The Titan with a sword.
Oh yeah, I think his name is Ronin.
That's cool. I'm in. Like I'm gonna get that game. I liked the gameplay in the first one a lot, and this one looks as good or better. So, yeah, pretty excited for that.
Like sword fighting robots are always a cool thing.
Yeah, and like Titanfall has done big robot fighting better than I think any other game I've played.
Almost any other game. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't played many others. Like I played MechWarrior Online or something like that a while ago, back when it was in like alpha or beta. But I've never liked fighting in huge robots in a game as much as I have in Titanfall. It's done really, really well. Yeah. Yeah,
that's about it for our E3 coverage. That's probably almost I can't really think of anything else that stood out to me, but there was a lot of cool stuff from E3 that.
Yeah.
I remember going into it thinking, like, a bunch of people were, like getting entirely rid of their press conferences or shorting their press conferences.
Yeah. And
everyone was saying, like, oh, this is going to be, like, one of the last E3s.
And I wasn't excited, really. Yeah, like, going into it, there was nothing I was really looking forward to. Like, I used to be really excited for Dishonored 2, and then we saw the trailer, and I was like, alright, that looks good. Like, the very first trailer for it. But, like...
Yeah.
Finding out more about that has been cool. Like, all these games that we talked about, I'm pretty much excited for pretty much all of them. Like, cautiously for Detroit, and I don't really care about We Happy Few, but I think a lot of people will like that game a lot, and I might even like it a lot. I don't know.
Next up, we have the pre-patch for Legion on World of Warcraft came out on the PTR, the public test rounds. I think sometime earlier this week.
Okay.
So someone did the math of like time between PTR and pre-patch.
It's normally like a month or so, right?
About 5 weeks, so about a month.
Yeah.
A little over a month. People are like, it's to me, like, I'll probably download it at some point just to kind of solidify, because that's all the class changes are in there now.
Yeah, I'll probably. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I'll probably pick it up just to see like what class I want to main and Legion.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still gonna main my Paladin, but I'm gonna level a Demon Hunter, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, incredibly for sure. Yeah.
The transmogrify stuff is in the PTR too. So
that's pretty cool, actually. I forgot about that.
So all your storage space will be back?
Yeah, I had filled up like all of my void storage. I think like 2 full tabs or whatever. Or however
Even the second tab when they added a new tab?
Yeah, it's full. In my backpack, I always have like 5 spots open. Like, it's bad. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that I'll play it on PTR partially because of my internet here. I don't want to wait like 4 days to download it. I might just wait till it goes live and then I'll probably end up
if it comes live, if it goes live in July, late July, that gives you a month of that until Legion.
Yeah, they're doing like a demon invasion stuff for the launch event, from what I've heard.
Yeah.
I'm interested. I'm gonna get back on, like, probably once the pre-patch goes live, especially if you're like still excited for it and hyped for it.
Yeah, I'm probably still gonna be up for playing until the pre-patch hits. Because it's gonna be in a month. I have like 20 days left on the current time I bought, so I may just put another $15 down or more gold down. I have enough for another.
Probably
token.
When the pre-patch drops, I'll probably buy 3 months. I think maybe I'll do 6, but probably 3. Because I still have to buy Legion. Expansions cost money too. Oh,
I don't even know what class I'm gonna boost with my 100.
Can we pre-order Legion right now?
You can.
No, but I'm not saying like let's all get on and do it live. I'm just, is it available now? Is what I mean.
It is available. Okay. And you get your 100 boost now, and you get your pet and stuff.
Oh wow.
All
right.
I think.
Man, I like the Burning Legion.
To me, it's almost like when we were playing Wrath, and you're like, "Oh man, the Scourge is cool."
Yeah.
Now it's the Burning Legion's cool again because the Scourge isn't really a thing anymore.
Yeah, I hope it's good. I really, really want it to be good.
I'm cautiously optimistic for it. I'm really. Yeah. I keep liking what I'm hearing about stuff.
Yeah.
The more stuff I hear about the dungeons, the world quest stuff sounds really awesome. The way they're going to do it, like there's timed events that last like a week or a couple days, and if you miss those events, well, sorry, like you messed up. You had to be paying attention to the world, and it takes place all over Broken Isle, so it's like cool that it takes you out of your garrison or Dalaran or wherever it'll be.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like they're just doing a lot of things like people like there's constant complaints about like it being too casual friendly, but it's like I'm sorry, but I'm kind of one of those people.
Yeah, like I just don't have that much time these days. Like
yeah.
I'm either working or I'm in college, and like you have a lot of time in college, I guess, but
yeah. But then you have also on top of all that, you have other games that you want to play.
Yeah, there's a lot of other games. Like it's not like when I used to play WoW a lot, that was like all I played mostly.
Exactly. That was like all we did.
For like 7-8 years, that was like all I played.
Yeah.
And I played other games, but not much. Very few other games.
It's just the pre-patch comes out, so you know that it's coming soon, and then Legion's right around the corner. I'm trying to think if there's anything else of note in that pre-patch. They took away, for some reason, a bunch of interface options. I can't remember which one exactly.
Huh.
But, like, the interface menu apparently got, like, torn up. There's, like, they took out a lot of options.
That's weird.
Right? Like, it's weird that Blizz said that, like, nobody uses them, so they were taking them out. But to me, it's just like, why take them out?
Yeah.
Like, if no one's using it, just keep them in there, and they will continue not to use it.
Yeah.
But I think that's about it. Is there anything else you want to add?
No, I'm just looking at Legion stuff now. I'm getting excited.
All right. Well, I think we'll end it there. Thank you all for listening, and see you next time.
That's right. All right. Let's stop.